in order to make, this is a name. I don't know what the name is, but what I'm doing is I'm making a variation of lace. And lace is where you take the same technique that I'm going to show you and you do it in different sizes. For this one, those same flowy chain things that I made for my fashion dress, that's what I want to do on this dress. So to start with, I'm going to set my machine. Let's see what 1.0 gives me. Gives me like that. We'll start the first chain with this. I feel like I feel like I can inflate it a little bit more, but let's see. My first two, I'm tying together. So you're going to tie them together, 2 and 2. The beauty of this chain, I have a basket right here, is that I can make this as long or as short as I want because I can just keep adding to it. 1, 2, and I'm just going to tie these together. Okay. In order to start, I wish I could remember what this is called. It's not a basket weave. A basket weave is like traditionally what we are weaving with the dresses. Somebody knows what this is called. Please comment. Please tell me what it is. So I've got my 2 here. And to start, I'm going to make 2 bubbles the same size. So I'm going to do 1 on this side and 1 on this side. And I relatively want them to be the same size. Okay. And then I'm going to twist these together. And now what ends up happening is you go 1 on the inside, 2 on the outside, because you're creating, just like we created our like squares here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. I did that word. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is what I'm creating here. So I've got my 1, 2. So this is my 1, 2, 3, and this is going to be 4. Now, what I have figured out when I'm doing this, if I do this in the same direction, it's naturally going to give me a spin on it. So for this side, I'm going to connect from the back. So I wrap around from the back. Repeat on this side. So I've got my single bubble. So my 1, 2, 3. And on this one, I want to connect, I want my inner track to go the outside. So inside, outside, inside, outside. So again, bubble, bubble. So now I need to connect in the center here. Center, outside. So I make my first bubble here. And then 1, 2, and this one is connected from the back. So basically I kind of try to remind myself back, front, back, front, back, front. You don't have to do it this way. After you're done with you can just physically twist it. But I realized that I was doing this and it was just happening. So again, inside, outside, and this one is front. And now another thing that I do when I'm doing this, I do make my bubbles, my small bubbles. So see, you're making your small bubbles. You don't have to twist this a lot. It's not like you're making a bubble strand where you have to rely on the bubbles to keep themselves in place. With this one, because they are locking back into each other, you don't have to do that extra twisting. So I just like twisted this twice. And then when you wrap it together, like that's not going anywhere. So again, I do my inside bubble and I'm just holding this. Like I make the bubble and I'm holding it. And then my 1, 2, backwards. 1 here. I usually use I'll put it between my pinky and my ring finger to hold it into place. And then 1, 2, from the front. So what this looks like in real time. And what I'm going to end up doing is, you know, any little moments that I have throughout the next 2 weeks, I'm just going to sit down and make some bubble chains because I really do want a lot for the bottom of this skirt. I'm going to make the chains and then I'm going to stick them in my freezer. If you didn't know, you can stick balloons in the freezer and they will keep their size and shape. And then you can see where it's naturally starting to give that twist. If I want to exaggerate this, as you're going, like you can literally just twist it and see how it gives it that fun shape. I just like that. I like that it curves. And again, you don't have to let it curve. If you do these both the same direction, it will stay completely flat. I like the helix twist here. I'm going to get to the end of this one and I will show you how, if you like, how to add, keep going basically. And it's going to be very simple. I'm just going to tie balloons to the end. And this is why you want to make sure that you have tail. Like this is too much tail. I could definitely inflate this more. But I might not. I might leave it this way so that way when I'm going to connect this to my dress, this is going to give me a very easy connecting point, and then I can always snip it off or add bubbles later. What is this technique called? I've always known it as making lace. And then it's like, oh no, this is symmetrical lace. There's so many terms in balloons, I just lose track of them. Like, what is it? A pinch twist is also an ear twist. There's a difference between a marriage twist. What is the other term for that? Which technically those aren't the same thing, because a marriage twist is where you're putting two balloons together. Is it an apple twist? Where you take the balloon and you stick it and you make it like how we did the bottom of the grad cap. I think that's, so those technically are different. But it's like, oh, some people will say this is a loop, and some people will say like, well, this is actually an ear. Some people I call them flower petals. Like, and I know that at Twist and Shout they talked about actually putting together a balloon dictionary. I'm so excited for that because it'll be really great and I think easy for people to learn when we're all on the same page with the terminology. Okay, so this is going to be where I'm going to show you. There's two different ways that you can do this. So here, you can just keep going individually with each balloon. So like this one looks like it's going to be the perfect little bubble there. So I can just inflate and tie directly to this and just keep going. Or we can do like I'm going to do on this side where you can do your two balloons tied together, start them here. It's going to be a preference. I usually actually like to just tie one in. I am going to up my setting. Oh, actually, No, I'm actually pretty happy with, like, we used a good amount of the balloon on this, so I'm going to stretch my balloon, inflate, and I'm going to make sure that this stays a nice round bubble there. I'm just going to tie these two together. And when I tie these together, just like we did with the link balloons, I want to make sure that that is as tight as possible. If this is something where I'm in a hurry and I know that I'm going to take this and go directly into the dress, I will snip this off. Because I am going to put this in the freezer and I'm not making the dress for another like 2 weeks, I'm going to leave these tails because they're not really hurting anything. So this first technique, so this is my single bubble. So I'm going to go my 1, 2 here. And you can see I end up with 3. So now I can do that same thing and I can tie right here to this tip. Stretch, because it's a reflex. Okay, so see I've got my 2 here. So I'm going to keep going with these 2 and see if I can't show you the example of just tying in and just continuing to go. Let's see if we can get enough bubbles. Can we do enough bubbles? So I'm just continuing that same pattern. I think I can get just enough bubbles. No. We are not going to get enough bubbles to do that. So I'm going to go my 2 bubbles here. I'm going to tie this. So I created my 2 bubbles. Yeah, it's fine. I created my 2 bubbles. I'm going to tie this and then go here and then tie my other one onto there. It's just that easy. There we go. Okay. Und bubble. Okay, so see where I've lengthened all of my balloons here. I need to make sure that I'm staying even as I'm going. So that's my 1, 1, 2, outside, inside. Over, under, and just keep going. It's fine. So what do we do when that happens? We just find our nozzle that just popped. I'm just going to tie another balloon to it. Don't panic. It's fine. Now, when I do this, I am going to tie this off just to make sure that no air escapes. And then what I like to do is, so you can see, here's my popped balloon. I do like to take the nozzle and feed it through. And when you do this, you want to make sure that your knot is on the opposite side of your connector there. And I'm just going to tie that all together. So see, that's where we're tied together. And it's fine, just keep swimming. And see? So you just keep going. And you can do these as wide as your brain can possibly keep track of it. Just when you're doing this, you just want to make sure that you keep going like back and forth. Like you can't really just do one side and not the other. You have to keep going out, like, you know, left, right, left, right, left, right. My bubbles for this are very small. They are a 1 finger bubble. So I'm taking 1 finger, pinch, 2, 3, and twisting it. 1, 2, twist it together. This is something, especially like if you're just beginning in balloons, this is a really good technique to just sit down and just start practicing, because it's going to help you with your speed and your precision. I didn't realize that when I started balloons. This was like my job. Like my minion job was to make lace. And whether or not it was on purpose or not, we're going to say it's on purpose. That it really did help me with my hand control, my controlling the balloons, like bubbles. Working a good bubble technique is really just going to, I think, like be very beneficial in the long run. Honestly, whether you're a twister or a decorator, we're all artists. And can you imagine how cool this would look in an organic? I just got an idea. I'm doing this. Just gonna give myself the challenge. We're gonna throw one of these in an organic. Actually, we're gonna throw like 10 of them in an organic. And making these, it can be very zen. I just sit down, throw on an audiobook, and just get to work. Right now, so EDC just left Vegas, so I am listening to the EDC playlist. I'm running out of audiobooks. I just started a series. I've never listened to books before. This is my first time. If anybody has a suggestion for a good book, I don't care what the genre is. I am into all genres, whether it's a self-help book, smut, I don't care, and I don't judge. Drop me a suggestion. Let me know, what audiobooks are you listening to? You can see it. Look at this. We've got all of this out of 8 balloons. I feel like this could be like a meetup, like a Zoom, or like just some kind of a meetup where it's like, hey, it's Monday, let's just make bubbles. Like Bubble Monday. Would anybody be into that? Trying to keep my hands up so that you guys can see. Normally when I'm doing this, I'm just here. I'm like here, like a little like balloon gremlin, just like making my lace, which is not good. That's bad posture. We need to be practicing good posture when we're twisting. That's probably good. My posture is my biggest downfall when I'm making balloons. I'm all directing. Twist a balloon, twist a balloon. Double pinch twist. Sorry. Getting to the end of this chain, I will show you. how I would finish this off. And how you would do this, as easy as you can imagine. So we're here. In order to finish this off, I just want to make sure that my 2 points are together. So I don't like this as my finished edge. I'm going to go here. That's going to be it. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie these off. That's it. Just tie it. Cut that off. I like to double knot these. And see, that's going to be my finished edge. So same thing on this side. Double. 1, 2. Twist. And what you can do when you're doing this is you can twist it and then I'll like lock it in just so that way when whether I cut or pop these balloons off, there's less of a chance of me losing the air in this part. Notice how I said less of a chance. So I've got my one side, use my cutter for the other side. So you've just got your 2 and you're just double tying it. You don't have to double tie it. It just seems to be the best way that I do it. And there you have it. Here's my lace that I have, and you can see how it has that curve to it, just very much naturally, the helix curve there. And you also notice you kind of have to really look for those connecting points. Once we cut these nozzles off, this is going to be very seamless. I hope that this helps. I hope that you can practice your bubbles, and I hope that you can use these in some of your designs, whether it be in a balloon dress or in your decor. Let me know how you use these, and let me know if you have any questions about anything that I know how to make. I'll try to make a video for all of us to be able to learn together. All right. I didn't like that sign off. I didn't like that. Make balloons, make money. Love you, bye. I like that better.